Hello everyone, this is Mike. If my forehead's red, it's because I couldn't clap to sync my stuff, so I smacked my head. Anyway, welcome back to the Stanley Parable. 7:45 p.m. Your favorite time of day. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time of day again? Current time of day is 15:52. That means it is 3:52 in the afternoon. It is 4 o'clock. It is not 7:45 in the evening, which is my favorite time of day, because it's that just perfect time right after sunset, but just before it's actually dark, where it's just kind of gray and blue and just calm. Where you can't really see colors anymore, but they don't quite need to turn the street lights on. It's peaceful. It's pretty. It's serene, and I love it. After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 7:45 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 7:45 p.m.? Horribly inaccurate. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. Yes, it is. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready the next time you boot up the game. Thanks, bro! Boom, 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 boom. I lied. We don't do it every time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I didn't.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nope.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Not yet.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really.
I don't know about that.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
I don't think so.
Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking.
I'm a big boy. That's like the whole point of being a big boy, is making decisions by myself. Oh no! My mess! Grabbing more gaming snacks. Rondoletti delicious cream wafers, because I like them. And also some bitterscotch beer, because why not? It's delicious, you know. Have you ever tried it? You should. It's yummy. Providing I can get it open with Leviathan. Yes, I have a Leviathan bottle opener. Why don't you? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's a different cold. The last one I had was warm.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
And it was just like a immediate kind of dull butterscotch flavor.
Back into your life. She's been waiting.
Cold.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in
cold.
Another,
it has a bit of a delayed, sharper flavor, and I kind of dig it. Wafer sticks.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Nope.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha.
That's mean.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife? Who
No.
would commit their life to you?
I know.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Well, I don't like that.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
That's not ominous and threatening.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch.
No, I'm not. I'm eating snack.
He's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No. Fuck you. I'm not pushing any more buttons, you hear me? No more. Okay, fine.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Roll credits.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head, he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end. That he might
playing a game.
always feel this free.
This isn't imaginary.
Surely there's an answer down some new
I'm
path.
sure of it.
Mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Are you? Are you sure you're not asleep? Are you sure you're not imagining this? How sure are you?
But there is no answer.
Whoa!
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. Wait, hold. Oh, no, it didn't. it would have been cool, and I think fairly easy to do, to get that clock set to the time that I had set when I started the game.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
By bringing me a mirror.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time you'll see. Maybe this time.
Maybe.
I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Well, the screen said please die. I guess I did.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes, please.
New content? What does that mean?
Yes,
New
give it to me.
content.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know,
Yay!
the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Yes.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with
The
the
two open
Stanley
doors.
Parable Ultra Deluxe,
Oh,
a reimagined
the memories.
for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
More game! Yay!
Step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
A single
This
open
sounds
door.
delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yes.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
I mean, it looks like an elevator that's made out of particle board, and I have serious reservations about being on this thing. Let me off.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
I agree. Let me out.
I
Let me
have
out.
to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Yes.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
I'm not wasting all my jumps. I'm saving some jumps for later.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
I love
It's
it.
just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Let me jump.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes.
Yes.
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Well, it's this particular hallway is fairly reminiscent of Spooky's HD jump scares. Ha!
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this?
I did.
I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I
me
intend
jump
to
again.
find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
I thought you were the developer.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Yes.
What do you say, friend?
Of course. Let's do it, bestie. Wait, this is... This ain't right. That's right.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
No, I'm good.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Oh, fine. I'm sorry.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Whee! Ever the end is never, the end is never, the end is loading, nev.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me
Yes.
thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be.
Right.
So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just
Wait.
our little secret.
Elden Ring? Oh.
I call it the Memory Zone.
Elden
It's where I've
Ring!
been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Hey, it's the phone. Picnic basket.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the
Nope.
game originally launched? Back then, video
Indoors
games had
monthly.
integrity. Back then,
Shapes.
it all meant something.
Graphs.
Oh, the waste.
Indie Box Collector's Edition. Galactic Cafe. Agile performance for an agile business. Deploy high-impact growth strategies. Dynamically streamline human capital areas. I'm not reading that, but I'm going to give you a second to pause it so you can maybe read it on your own later. Oh, that's brilliant. The British Academy of Film and Television awarded to Bruce Straley for The Last of Us in the category of story with Stanley Parable taped over it. Now that is funny. What's this? Oh, it's just the Steam page. Okay. Oh, there's photos. Photos. The greatest wealth is memory. 2013, when the Stanley Parable was released. 2013? Everything? 2013? 2013. My first kiss, my first car, the release of Stanley Parable in 2013. The original remake. What? Okay. Ah, good times. The endings! Smile because it happened. A trip down memory lane. $1! Whoa. Stanley Parable demonstration on a CRT TV. Holy shit. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Stanley Pro Game Innovation. Okay, so these are actual awards compared to the one that had tape. New video game releasing today. Creators surprisingly down to earth. Colleges show uneven effort to enroll poor. Costs hint a new track to achieve diversity. Business leaders pushing elections of council allies. 50% off of a designer hat, but small creature owns the other. Late edition. Today, sunny, hot, humid, high 92. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, warm and humid, low 74. Tomorrow, sun and clouds, hot, humid, high 90. Weather map page A118. The New York Times. Fun. The Los Angeles Times. Aww. Ooh, the music. Why is the piano there?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph
ModDB 2012 Interaction Award. Big Sushi from Best of PAX 2013. Designer Museum Design of the Year. NGF 2025 Award.
And I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable
Persona's
anymore.
great, by the way.
It's just a husk now.
I was considering playing it for the channel,
Husk
but
with an hour of new
so
elevated
long.
content.
What's this? Okay. Hey, the Minecraft house. Let's begin again. Tasteful, nostalgic. It was good. Squiggly line. Squiggly line. Wait, how do I get there? Have I been there? 2 open doors. Buttons. The only 2 character models in the game. What in the fuck? Game design stuff, I'm assuming. Nice car. The end is never the end is never the end. The red door. The blue door. I want that tie.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the
I like work.
Video game memories.
I just hate my boss. That's rude.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I
Yes.
wouldn't give to go back to have
Oh.
it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Give me drinks.
What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Only one way to find out.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny. With
I think
his
you're
humor
hilarious,
and
babe.
dialogue
Don't listen to him.
proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I think those are actual reviews from Steam, too. That one's a positive review.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good,
Very repetitive and boring, fast despite all the alternative endings.
Preachy?
In the game, cameo appearances. Thought-provoking, but you'll get the idea. Tries to communicate pretty fast and just repeating the whole no choice in the game thing over and over again. If somebody prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. It's neither a revelation nor very interesting.
It's been rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
That's okay, buddy, because you can't please everyone.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
I don't want a skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll
I don't
put you
want to.
forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is
What?
why I say,
the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245, that the logic of elimination...
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more...
I don't think I had anything to do with any of that.
Of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone?
Not
It has
really.
A mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history.
Is it?
History, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. 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 Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolution. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole?
No.
A sufficiently large crack in the wall?
No.
I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There wasn't.
I agree.
Before, wasn't there?
Yes.
I swear there was. Where did it go?
Why weren't you paying attention?
Just ram your way through a wall?
Yeah.
Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button.
I won't.
Please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button.
Okay, you got it.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I'll be right back.
Okay. We'll give him 3 more laps. One. Two. Three.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Did you find a
Just
door?
frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God,
He
there's
did
no
not
way
find
out
a
of the
door.
room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe. I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
Yep.
Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie
knows?
Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no
Because you're insecure.
idea who they are. What would it ever
Me either.
really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The
Yep,
merest
that's
mention
anxiety.
of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself.
That's
I
narcissism.
can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? The who's... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
Maybe for you.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have
Hi.
had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Today...
Buddy? Excuse me? Hey, buddy. Buddy, where'd you go? Okay. Oh, the clock fell down.
But they didn't understand the game
Hey,
was
he's
never
back.
meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to
Here
leave
I
a
am now.
pathetic little
Entertain
thumbs-down
me.
review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives.
Basically,
It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people. Because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find the resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project.
Sometimes.
I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're
You sound
the
like
ones
it.
who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my,
Sure.
how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words?
That tree died a while ago. It's not getting enough wall order. Drip?
The end is never the end, 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 is never
More water.
is never the end, 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 is
I believe he's gone quite mad. That's a lot of leaking. Oh, whoa, what? The wall. The tree! No, not the tree. Oh, those walls are starting to look horrible. There's no more dripping. Okay. I can hear things. Sunlight! Here's a chair. Okay, this level of damage to concrete building. I'm assuming steel pipes. 5-10 years maybe? Oh! That's not 5 to 10 years. This is much longer. There's no rust on the ladder, which is impressive. I think I see more trees up there. Yeah, no, that has been an impressively long time. Wait, what? No! It sounds like a jazz club is built way above the top of this. And I lost my forest. What? The fuck is that noise? Oh, this is a horror game now. Skip that. Okay. Where's the light? Oh, What? Oh. Dude, I'm Ginger. This is not for me. Let me smash. Let me smash that button. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna wander off into the desert and crisp. Or not. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't think so. Okay.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Good.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about
Okay.
how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which
Okay.
is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Hey, sequels. The end is never the end. Again.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a
For
few minor
2.7.
additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel, an entirely
Oh,
new
yes.
experience built from the ground up. Why
Oh,
there's so
yes.
many possibilities? It could go in so many different directions. This
that an
is
Apple
what
computer?
fans
God
have
damn it.
truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Okay. I can get down with long-term franchising potential. Those are some comfy-looking couches. 2. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old and busted. New hotness. Men in Black reference. I love it. Boring sections of the chart. Cool red section of the chart. Old and busted. New hotness. They're back. 2 doors. More TSP. Better TSP. TSP. Oh, the Stanley Parable. Okay. Win. Sequential mind share. Paradigm shift. Synergy. Brick and mortar approach. And how do you... What? Envelope client-centric marketing. The color red. Leverage holistic value. I like this one. Thanks for attending my meeting. Yeah, I like that one.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable
2 Stanleys!
is going to be. But let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Sure.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out.
Meeting scrum.
Game development is much
Goo
more of a fuzzy
scrum.
approach than anything scientific or logical.
I think it's 9 o'clock, but goo, scrum. Lou, design pitch. Leo, design break. Glaze, pitch design. Number 2, chat. Eyes, ears, nostrils, arms, legs. Who took the red marker? Me! Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman, Arkham Asylum 2, City, Divinity, Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, Dark Souls 2. The prequel to the Stanley Parable 2? Is the sequel to the Stanley Parable? Is the prequel to the Stanley Parable 2? Is the sequel to the Stanley Parable? Is the prequel to the Stanley Parable 2? Is this... I love it. 2. Blackout curtains. 2. New features. Bus. The new content bus. Got it. Backstage. I don't have a pass. Expo Hall. 2. Nice Expo Hall.
Go on, try out some of the new features.
Enjoy the new features. Hear your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
I'm Agatha, Bob, Jensen, Peter, Craig, Harry, Joe, Jane, Dave, Daryl, Shira, Timmy, Joe, Jane, Dave, Shira, Timmy, bleh, and all the rest. Too big. Too small. I actually like the too big one the best. Can I have that one? The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is.
It's Mike.
Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory.
Okay,
If you don't
sorry,
quickly roleplay
sorry.
as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise,
Okay.
it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name.
Right.
Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
That's what she said.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim. Playing Frisbee on the weekends as Jim.
Ew.
Staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim.
Okay.
Developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim.
No.
Rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim. And
Okay.
finally, dying a slow death at an old age, surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel
I have a
it in your
cult?
soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
No, I'm Mike.
So, then please step forward.
I don't want to be Jim. Jim sounds like he's had a horrible life. Can I just leave? Nope, doors are closed. All right, I'll press the Jim button.
Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Do I have to? I want to be done role playing as Jim, please.
It hits even harder the second time. If
It really
this were
didn't.
the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
Not
Let's
really.
take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
I agree. Let's take a break from the Jim button. That is all the time I have for this episode. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Jim.